You have found us, the number one podcast for you who get up every day and get after it, bringing fitness to those around you, sometimes whether you know it or not. In these podcasts, we talk about important things, and every now and then we sneak in some not so important things, but it's all about bringing fitness full circle. Health fitness, wealth fitness, risk fitness, spiritual fitness, all the ways that we keep people fit. Coming up next, in today's podcast, we talk about the Lady Lifters Club. It's a special edition of the Fitness Full Circle podcast. And I have with me not my amazing co-host, Kim Aker, but my equally amazing substitute co-host, Jen Brantley. Jen, we got Lady Lifters Club here today. What is Lady Lifters Club? Explain that to the listeners.
Lady Lifters is a group of amazing women all on a journey to get fit. What's so cool is that it's a group of women, different ages, different backgrounds, but all on the same mission.
Indeed. And would you mind introducing our amazing Lady Lifters?
Absolutely. We have Sherry, we have Haley, we have Jenny, then we have Courtney.
And Jen is also one of the amazing Lady Lifters as well.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we're going to hear about their story, their fitness journeys, their travels coming up next. If you have tuned in to even one of these podcasts, you will know that the unofficial sponsor of the Fitness Full Circle podcast is none other than the amazing Coffee Oasis. And the reason why I talk about the Coffee Oasis is that they are not just a coffee facility. They provide shelter, they provide homes, they provide clothing, they provide youth services to the many people in our communities. And this is all supported through the coffee business. And so I know that you guys out there buy coffee. But here's what I want to tell you is that where you buy your coffee, it might not mean much to you, but it means everything to them, because Coffee Oasis is restoring communities through compassionate youth programs and coffee business. So how do we support the Coffee Oasis? We buy their coffee. Listener comments were a little bit light this week, but it's okay because we still got one. Brandon from Shelton, he said, "Hey, I hear you talk about your unofficial sponsor, the Coffee Oasis. Do you have any official sponsorship opportunity available?" And Brandon, yes, I do. Why don't you reach out to me and we can talk about that, and you will be the official sponsor of the Fitness Full Circle podcast. But like everyone knows, if you leave a comment, it doesn't even matter the depth of the comment. You leave a comment, you're going to get entered in to win a free Fitness Full Circle t-shirt, the nice edition. But there is one rule. The comments do have to be positive, because we have a software system that filters out any negative comments. So if you give me a negative comment, I won't even see it because of this advanced super software system that we have. But anyway, get your comments in, because we're giving away a t-shirt at the next podcast number 20. Okay, so what I want to do is, I'm so happy to have the Lady Lifters Club here. This is an amazing group of ladies. We are actually on location in the BC Fitness studio. So apologize for the echo, but we are actually in the BC Fitness studio. We're going to have the Lady Lifters Roundtable. And I figured, you know what? If we're going to have a roundtable, let's have a round table. So I got the round table pulled out and we're all piled in around this thing. So we're ready to go. So anyway, I love working with these ladies. I love their stories. I love everything about why they're here and what they're doing. And so what I thought would be fantastic is if we got them in and we talked to them about that, because I think that they have stories that resonate. Not only do they resonate with me, they also resonate with everyone else. And I want them to share their stories. So I wanted to start with my phenomenal co-host, Jen, who promises to keep this G-rated. But so I want to ask you, Jen, what has inspired you to embark on your fitness journey? Or as we talk about in BC Fitness, what was your enough's enough moment?
So when I first came to you and said, I'm interested in working out, I recently became an empty nester. And so before, when you have a kid at home, you're so focused on what the kid's doing. And then she left, and I was like, oh, I have time to think about me. And let me just preface with the feeling. At that point in my life, I was feeling sludgy. That's not a real, I'm not sure that's a real word, but that's kind of how I felt, right? Sludgy and icky. I didn't feel really good. But I knew I hit 40 and I wanted to feel good about myself. And I tried many times, looking on the internet for all these different workout programs. And I had listened to a podcaster, about sometimes you have to go to an expert. And I realized that all the tries that I was making, I was not an expert in this field. So it was time for me to go and find someone because I wanted to feel good about myself.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yes.
So you know what? Let's go in another direction. I want to talk to Jenny. Jenny, let's talk about your enough's enough moment. I know you had a very powerful enough's enough moment. I also know that although you look absolutely amazing now, I'm not responsible for this whole thing. So let's talk me through that.
So my enough's enough moment, I kind of had a couple that kind of came together. My dad passed away at only 57 years old, and a lot of it was due to poor health. And I didn't want to be there. And I was a single mom for 10 years before I finally met my husband, and I concentrated pretty much all my hours on being able to raise him and provide for him, and didn't leave much time for myself. And then I would see myself in pictures with him and go, oh my God, is that really what I look like? And it's not how I felt inside. And I wanted to change that. And so I, like many others, had a lot of stops and starts. I did a stint in the Kitsap Tri-Babes, which I love my Tri-Babes very much, and they're an amazing group. I did a season with them and decided I really don't like cardio. It's not my jam. sorry, Tri-Babes, but I love you guys. But ended up kind of changing things up and working with a nutritionist, changed my diet drastically, lost about 115 pounds. At my highest, I was about just over 300 pounds. And then, so when I had lost the original about 100 pounds, I still wasn't there yet. I still didn't feel like I had the fitness to go with it. So decided that lifting, not cardio, was definitely my jam. I absolutely fell in love with it. Now I can keep up with my husband. I can keep up with my teenage son. And I feel so much more confident and better about myself and what I can do in daily life, along with, going on vacations and being able to take hikes and go snorkeling and things that are physical that I might not have been able to do before.
Sherry, your fitness journey is amazing. Your fitness journey didn't really start at BC Fitness, so to speak.
Correct.
You came from a different place, and I think it's what you did, where you were, or how you did this is really, really special. Can you kind of talk about your fitness journey over the last 5-6 years or so?
I guess I had to kind of go beyond that a bit, and also a little bit background.
Sure.
I always been, pretty fit, since I was a kid or when I was younger. But as I get older, it's just when you get older, it's just a lot more attention you have to pay to your health in general. So my fitness journey kind of spanned quite a few years, probably last 10, 15 years, kind of on and off, and quite a bit, but always kind of doing something. But I did get into CrossFit for quite a few years. I was really strong, and I was never, I never felt so empowered as a woman, being CrossFit. And about 5 years ago, I got diagnosed with breast cancer, early stage. But I felt like I was at the peak of my health, condition. So It was shocking, came out of nowhere. Physically, I was in such a good condition. And I went through chemo, I went through surgery, I went through radiation, a whole shebang of treatment. Last about a year. But because my foundation was really good. I have a lot of muscle mass and I was strong. So that really helped me endure, the 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 treatment, because it takes so much out of you. I think only people who experience that know what it does to you. But I truly believe, because I was in such a good shape and I was able to do so well. I came out with everything clear. And so I'm in remission since then. And so I was really, really grateful for how, because my physical condition was in such a good shape, I was able to endure, the tough treatment, for a year. And also the all the thing, most of the cancer patient had to do. Sort of something that you realize, this could happen to you. And so you definitely pay more attention. So I really want to stay or stick to some kind of plan. I was really, really trying to find a local gym or fitness program that speaks to me. So I came across Brett's program that's sort of like CrossFit like, because we have classes, for a small group and doing weightlifting and, strength training, which is essential to women health when you get older. Once you get to 50s or even older, you lose, your muscle mass and your bone health. And so doing, weight training is absolutely essential. I can never stop working out. I just, so emotional health also part of it. So that has a lot to do with how well I did during the cancer treatment, is both physical and also, your psychological, I guess. So yeah, and so I love this, the program we got here and Brett put together, because I don't have to work on it. I just show up. And we always said, once you show up, is to have you're halfway there. And I think that is very simple, straightforward, and non-complicated, sort of way to look at it. And I've been telling people, it doesn't matter what you do, anything that you do, but stay consistent. That is really the key. And stick with some kind of program, but do it regularly, because that's what makes the most difference. So I've been telling myself, you got to be ready if it should happen again, something, unexpected, physically. You got to be ready for the challenge, whatever it is, coming your way. So, because, life is short. Life is very precious, and health is something that you have to work on it. There's no free lunch. There's no shortcut.
Yeah, exactly. I am going to turn this over to my great friend, Haley. Haley has this amazing distinction in the Lady Lifters group of being the youngest. So, Haley, why did you get started on your fitness journey? Tell us about what your enough's enough moment was for what got you started.
So my moment was just I kind of realized where I was in a point in my life where I didn't want to be. I didn't feel healthy. Mentally, I wasn't really doing too well. And I had realized I really just wanted to be healthy. I wanted to look at myself and just feel happy. And I didn't have that at the time. And so I'd started setting standards for myself that didn't match me at all. I started looking at people and thinking, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do. I want to be this weight and this size, and I got to get there. And I put myself into an unhealthy relationship with food, where I was only eating maybe once a day. trying to like starve myself out of it and still gaining weight. And it was just in this loop of like being depressed and like, how am I gaining weight? Why am I only eating once a day? Like, why am I starving all the time if I'm always just gonna be this size? And it was right around after COVID, I decided like, why don't I go back to having a fitness trainer? Because I had had one previously, and I liked it because for me, fitness is like oil and water in my life. I'm a homebody. I stay at home, I play games, I read books, I draw. Like going out and going to the gym is not on my to-do list, would usually never be on my to-do list unless I had someone like Brett who'd make sure I'd be there. So I looked around and I finally found Brett, and I kid you not, it was like our first meeting. And I told him I wanted to be like this 130 or 5 pounds, the way I used to be, like when I was starving myself, and I wanted to be smaller. And I'd never thought like, oh, well, that's unhealthy. It took Brett to sit there and tell me like, we can get you to like a lighter weight, but that goal is not exactly realistic for you or your body because it's not really healthy. And it was right around that time where I realized, I was like, oh, I've been setting unhealthy standards for myself based off of what others see and what I see. So I was like, well, this entire time in my head, like my family and my friends are telling me I'm unhealthy, I'm overweight. But in reality, like I was okay. I'd put myself into this depression. I started gaining weight and stuff like that, but I was actually decently healthy before I, went into that downward spiral. And I let people kind of control that aspect of my life. So, but thanks to like Brett and like Lady Lifters and stuff like that, I've come to this point in my life where I like myself. I'm okay with my body, and I can see like my end goal where it suits me and it fits me, where it is my body, and I can come to like love it. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm actually really happy.
So I have with me Courtney. Courtney's distinction to the Lady Lifters Club is that she is the newest member of the Lady Lifters Club. And Courtney, would you tell us how you developed this enough's enough moment to reach out?
I don't think I told you this before, but my family just went through like a really hard time with my brother. He had brain surgery, and I just couldn't keep up. Like my mind, everything wasn't like set up. And so I was like at that point to where like I was like, I want to have surgery and just get it over with, because with my work schedule, taking care of my brother and his 2 kids, I was like, I can't do it no more. Mm-hmm. And so I called my insurance. They're like, yeah, we do it, but you just have to do 6 months of working out with a trainer or with someone that can write off that you've been working out for insurance purposes. So I went and looked on the internet, and I was like, this guy has LGBT like flag on his. So I was like, he seems cool. I'll do this. So I literally emailed him, and he emailed me right back. And literally I was in here the next day, I think it was. And I was just persistent. Like, I've always been the bigger kid. I always played all the sports, but I was always the bigger kid, and I'm over it. So I was like, I'm done. And my highest was 315, and I've always been athletic, and I wanted Brett to help me get back to my goal weight, which like what Haley said was I wanted to be like an athlete who would do the crazy, like, starve yourself, that kind of athlete, starve yourself and do the crazy stuff that's just not healthy. And so I was doing the isogenics and stuff diet, and I was just told Brett, and I was like, I don't want to starve myself no more, because I am tired of starving myself. And this is probably why I have an unhealthy relationship with food, because I told him, I was like, I eat when I'm hungry and I don't eat like one meal a day. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. And I was like, I don't want to look in a mirror and hate myself all the time. So yeah.
Those are all awesome. Every single one of those is awesome. What I want to do, since now everyone's down, all the listeners are all down, all very depressed because you guys' stories.
No, they should be inspired.
Yeah,
They're super inspired.
Crazy.
But you know what's
I'm
is like we might have come
completely-
in here with this idea of what the aside from Sherry, because she was maintaining a regimen, right? Because she's been on track since she was born. But for the rest of us, like we were all like initially had this goal of how we wanted to look. And it seems like along the way it's shifted from how we want to look to how we want to feel.
So Courtney, love this story. Maybe can you tell me about how your ideal body image has changed since you started on this fitness journey?
Okay. So I wanted to be the 130-pound person, but with me, that's just not possible because I have a lot of muscle and I'm gonna look funky. Like it's just not gonna work. So, and society makes you feel like you have to be that way. And I don't want to look funky. Like I'm already out there. Like I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah.
So I just want to I want to feel happy and healthy in my own body, not because of what society says that I have to be.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, one of the stories that really resonates with me about you is I was sitting on the sofa one night and I get this text message from one of my clients. Her name's Courtney, the one sitting next to me right now. And she says, "Is it okay if I send you a picture?" And at first you're like, is it going to break one of the 10 commandments? But no, really speaking, can I send you a picture? I said, of course you can send me a picture. That's my job. And you sent me a progress pic of yourself that you were very, very proud of. And I was equally as proud of. And you're feeling better about yourself. And I think that's really the most important part of really of all this stuff. And I know Haley talked about it, I know you talked about it, is we got these ideal body images that are given to us via the media. Ideal body images are given us via television or even those around us. I know because some of us don't have really solid support systems. I know that. But what I think the most important part with that is that you feel comfortable with yourself. And I was really proud that you sent me progress pics because you felt comfortable enough to include me in those pictures. And, you know, one of the, you know, and I'm going to share this because it was really kind of heartbreaking. And I said, wow, you did a great job. And you said, thank you for not laughing. And that broke my heart to think that at any point you could send somebody progress pics and put yourself out there and show them that the amazing work that you've put together. And that you would worry that I wouldn't be just as proud as you were. And so, I thought, gosh, that's really, really powerful. And I'm so glad to be a part of that. I'm so glad to be a part of that. So, and one of the things that I really want to talk about too, and with this too, is with the ideal body image, is that both you and Haley, you guys are freaking strong, right? You guys are like amazingly strong. And, that is the direction that you guys decided to pivot to. And we talked about these ideal body images, and by saying, you know what, let's work with the body type that we have. And how can we maximize the greatness of the body that you already have? You guys found strength. And it's absolutely amazing with that. And so I know Haley touched on that, but you know, when it comes down to the Lady Lifters Club, you guys intimidate the rest. You guys intimidate me. I've worked out with you guys individually, and I don't work out with you guys anymore because it's too hard. But anyway, you guys found your calling in strength, and strong is the new skinny. Strong is the new sexy. right? And you guys personify that. And I think it's absolutely amazing. So we've talked about the positivity. We've talked about, the enough's enough moment. We're engaged in the Lady Lifters Club to be the best version of ourselves. But as we know, fitness journeys are not linear by any means. There's the ups, there's the downs. So I just kind of want to throw this out there and just have you guys share with the listener audience who's on similar paths as well. When you're on your fitness path, it's difficult to stay on there all the time. I know this, right? But when you step off your path, what's going to be the common go-to? What's going to bring you off of your path?
So I can definitely answer this one, as I've been on and off the path many times. In fact, when I had originally met Brett, I had gained about 30 pounds back, thanks to being inactive due to COVID, not being able to go to the gyms were shut down. And then I'm an emotional eater. As many people are, you start grabbing for the quick things, the easy things. A lot of us were bored at home, can't go anywhere. So what are you going to do? Sit and emotionally eat chips or whatever is there. And it's so easy to then be like, well, I did it once, so I'm on a break for now. I'm not going to go back to working out. When I do, I'm going to go full bore, but for now I'm not on the wagon. So I might as well not be on the wagon. And it's so easy to then completely tumble right off the wagon. So then when I met Brett and had somebody to keep me accountable, and had my lifting girls who also helped me so much. It's just so great to have such a wonderful group of women to come here and encourage you and keep you going and make you want to show up for each other, even if it's not for yourself. And I think that's a big part of it, is showing up for each other. That's why this is such a great group, that everybody's so positive and encouraging, and you just want to just keep going forward for each other.
That's awesome.
So.
And you mentioned something that I talk about with all of you, but I also talk about in groups when I do speaking, is the type of eater you are. What type of eater are you? And it's something that we all talk about in our discovery sessions. And so I just want to kind of ask everybody, there's different identified types of eaters. Take for me, for instance, I'm a stress eater and I'm a depression non-eater. So when something's stressful, I'm going to find myself in the pantry. I don't walk to the pantry. I straight levitate to the pantry. I just sort of float. And then I end up in the pantry. And it's strictly because it's stress related. So I just kind of want to know from the Lady Lifters perspectives, what type of eater would you say that you are? Sherry?
I think I'm a snacker. I always been a snacker between meals. But when I was younger, my metabolism is great. It's no big deal. I can snack as many times as I want. But now as I'm older, I'm getting close to be 60 in a few years. And I think when I turned 45, I would still feel really good. So 40 is no big deal. 45 is fine. But when I turned 50, I think I really noticed how my body changed. So my metabolism is not as good. So I can't snack as often or as much anymore. I also have to reduce the amount of food I eat. Because I always, not worry about it. Because I guess it's lucky, I'm fortunate I don't have to worry about that. But now I have to pay more attention. So, but I'm a snacker. Yeah, I eat between meals.
Would you call that a busy eater or a bored eater? Do you think if you were to choose one of those, which one?
I think I'm a busy eater.
Yeah, just something to do. Yeah, just something to do. Yeah.
It actually, help me stay awake at work.
Yeah.
Because just sometimes you if I chew something, I love chewing stuff. Just because grew up with the Chinese, we have a lot of snacks that just eat chewing. So I love chewing, like jerky. I love beef jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I just love grab something at work. Like after lunch, around 2:30, 3 o'clock. I always have snacks in my bag. And so I'll just grab something and I take it out and start eating. It's just like emptying and eating away, not thinking about it. But at least I made some good choices when I bring snacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you pre-plan.
And I had to watch portion.
Good. Haley, what kind of eater are you?
I'm the same exact type of eater as you are. I am a stress eater, 100%. Anything happens at work, or if I don't feel like doing something, I'm just feeling run down. Oh, I go straight for the fridge. It's always the same thing: ice cream and fried chicken. Every single time, guaranteed. It's ice cream or fried chicken.
Is that at the same? Oh, it's either or. It's not at the same time. You don't.
Sometimes, but that's like that's the real stress, you know.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Really bad. What about you, Jenny? I mean, you shared a little bit about your story, but what's your go-to derail? I mean, if you're, what type of eater are you? And then when you're in that mode, what's that derail look like?
Oh yeah, definitely stress. But I think it's a combination. When Sherry was talking about being a busy eater, sometimes when I drive a lot, so sometimes you want to do that to keep awake, or but definitely stressful situations when I'm dealing with life. I go for the bag of chips. I want the crunchy thing. I'm not a sweet eater. I don't have a sweet tooth. I like the salty stuff. So the chips, the cashews, beef jerky is good too, but I like the crunchy things. That's my jam. Mm-hmm.
Jen, our listeners, they already know about you. They already know your six pumps of caramel.
But can we clarify? It was not caramel like the goopy syrup. It's the 6 pumps of caramel flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes it any better.
First time I heard that, I was like, how is she like getting that through the straw? It's like a jaw workout, honestly. Like 6 pumps of actual caramel.
Yeah. So besides caramel sauce and mochi donuts, what type of eater are you?
Okay, so I'm kind of scared to answer this question. So Brett, I came to you because I knew the issue, my challenge is I'm a foodie. And so I came to you because I wanted to not really have to change how I eat. So when you say, what kind of eater are you? I mean, I find a reason to eat for everything, right? Like if we have a birthday or we got a job promotion or I haven't seen you in a long time, like we should go eat to celebrate. Or if you come to me and you've had a bad day, we should go get food to just decompress, or if, there's a new restaurant, we should go try the new food. So I find food for all sorts of reasons, but the time that it's the hardest for me, and if I can be very candid, is as a woman, we have that time of month. That's the biggest challenge for me because I'm like you, find myself floating to the pantry. So I'm a mood eater and a craver, but during that time, I don't know what I'm craving. So I'm literally eating anything in the pantry or in the fridge, hoping to find that craving. And sometimes I don't. And that's when the scale tilts. But yes, I'm a constant eater, mood eater, any good reason, bad reason for food eater.
So a social drinker, you're a social eater.
I'm a social eater.
And I remember that conversation because as I was trying to get from you, if you're going to fall apart, what's it going to be? And I'm painting this story and I was like, okay, you're PMSing and you go over to the pantry and what is it that you're going to go for? She goes, I don't know. I'm just going to eat until I find it.
Yes. So. And like the thing for me right now, so work can be a little bit stressful. So I'm also a stress eater, but I like sugar. So right now it's those powdered brownie bites from Safeway. Oh my gosh, they are so good. They hit the spot. And because you're taking bites, you don't realize how much you're eating. But anyways, yeah.
Courtney, what about you? I know a little bit about your story, but I want you to tell the story into the microphone.
Okay. Well, I'm not either a stress eater or a foodie. I like to drink my calories and I am a go-to soda person. I will drink soda all day long. Like I could go without eating a meal and just drink a soda all day long. Or sometimes if and also I have a hard time eating and keeping a schedule on that because I get up at 1:30 in the morning and I don't go to bed until 7 or And if I don't meal prep, then I just go for the soda.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I didn't eat right today, so I'll just go for that soda.
But I get that. It's an easy grab,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to make the plan.
And sorry, mom and dad, but they always taught me to go to McDonald's, to go to Burger King, the cheapest thing and fastest thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's really one of the biggest challenges, and it's one of the things I've talked about in prior podcasts is the way that soda or various drinks have so much sugar in them, and one of the ways that people increase weight so much is the fact that really the only way to get that amount of sugar into your system is either to fall apart like me when I'm stressed out with a gallon of ice cream, or drinking soda. And soda is one of those things where it's just so challenging. So I'm really glad you shared that, because that's so common, and we're actually seeing that in studies of children, and childhood obesity is maybe not so much about the food that they're eating, but the soft drink choices that they're making, or even some of the, you look at Sunny Delight, or you look at apple juice or grape juice, and you can say, well, it has 10% fruit juice in it, but it has a quarter of a cup of sugar in an 8-ounce glass too. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing with that too. So I appreciate that. So let's talk about this. Let's switch gears for just a second. And so we've talked about, hey, how are you going to fall off your fitness path, or, not even fall off. That's the wrong phrase. How are you going to step off your path? And, what's going to be that reason for stepping off your path? But let's talk about staying on your path. So tell us, what's been the biggest catalyst for your success so far? What keeps you going week after week after week in this amazing fitness journey that all of you guys are having?
I'll go first.
You don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to say I'll go first, because I'm just going to edit that right in.
Okay. So listening to Sherry and Jenny and Haley and Courtney, there's a couple things. One, Sherry talked about consistency, right? Well, let me back up. Haley and Courtney talked about body image. So going from body image to just wanting to be healthy, that's kind of helped me stay on track. It's a lot easier to feel successful when I'm moving towards being healthy. Sherry talked about being consistent. By there being lady lifters every week, that helps me to remain consistent, because consistent and routine is not a normal thing for me by nature. It's something I have to work towards. And then Jenny had talked about the women in the group. And I am very much a people person, social, and I guess, yeah, even like you too, Brett. So, knowing I'm going to see these faces every time I come, it motivates me to come, knowing that you're going to keep me accountable, be like, where are you at? I know I'm going to come. Knowing it's the same day every time, it makes it easier for me to know that there's a place I need to be, and I can make that appointment with you for myself. And just working towards being healthy, instead of thinking I'm going to be this hot 20-something, which I'm never going to be at, because I'm 40 and it's going to look different. So I'm just going to be healthy and be able to enjoy life.
I love it. That was amazing. And you answered for everybody too. So yeah, you just jumped in and just answered for everybody.
Sorry.
Is there anything?
You all inspire me.
Anybody have anything else to add?
Oh, I was gonna say, everything that Jenny and Courtney said, that's all, very, it's all valid, because that's why I come here regularly. But for me, top of all that, also because my medical history, because cancer, and again, cancer is non-curable. So I'm very aware of that. So one of the things I could do for myself is always stay healthy. So working out, staying strong is definitely gonna, keep you ahead of things. So that's important to me. Even though sometimes I think about it, I go, geez, I could never slack off, because I had to stick to this for the rest of my life. Which is, why not, right? It's because working out makes you feel good, and you look better, and you can do everything else better. So that's kind of one of my, reasons to show up. I think for people who work out regularly, if you don't work out, your body actually, at least for me for a long time, I actually get really, it's like you wanted to move. It's like your body wanted to do something. So it's kind of addiction, I think, but the good kind. But it is, because it's to your mind and body. It does a lot. I think, I encourage people to experience that. A little more, a little more put into it. But again, this is the only body we got. We need to take care of it. That's just the truth. And
Great point.
I agree.
I like that. Yeah. I like the whole, like, kind of just showing up for yourself and your health. And it's cool to have like support systems and stuff, but to stay on the path, for me, it was like a real change in like mentality, like mindset. Like I had to find a way to support myself, to push myself to not procrastinate. Like tomorrow might not be a thing that comes. So you might want to do it today. So tomorrow you look better, you feel better, you're healthier. Just like how Sherry was saying, like I kind of like how she worded that.
It makes me think about learning to love yourself, right? A lot of times people get on the path because they're wanting other people to think highly of them or approve or love them. But along this way, we realize, oh, I'm doing it for me. And so I love my body and I'm going to take care and be proactive now. So,
and I feel like all of those little things, they're the non-scale victories, like for yourself, whether it's not having a seatbelt extender on an airplane or, your clothes fitting, or being able to find cute clothes. That was a huge thing when before I had lost weight, like just being able to find clothes that fit me, or cute clothes that fit me. And each little victory, it just pushes you to keep going because it makes you feel even better about yourself. And those little victories add up. A before and after picture, like Courtney, it just, and then having that validated, by people that care about you, even if it's just one, it's really amazing. It really does a lot for you.
Yeah, it's just that journey, like your fitness journey, and along that journey, you're learning, like you're building muscle, you're getting healthier, but at the same time, mentally, you're learning how to, bring yourself up, like put yourself together, like support yourself as well.
Side
And
quest.
people are helping you do it. So it's more than just the physical, it's also a mental.
And it's a good deed because we're letting you bask in our glory and our presence.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I get out of all this stuff. So let's just, what I would really like to say is to celebrate the wins, right? We celebrate the wins, but what I really want to know is what has surprised you most about yourself during this fitness journey? What's really been, and not your enough's enough moment, we talked about that. What's been your really wow moment for yourself through this fitness journey? Does anybody have a story they can share about that? What this has surprised them most about this fitness journey?
Yeah. I think for me, the wow moment was kind of just overcoming some of the goals I had mentally set for myself. At the beginning, when we started doing strength training and lifting, I was telling myself, I think I'm gonna be good just being able to lift 200 pounds. I know I'm pretty strong. I just want to get to 200. And without even knowing, Brett had gotten me above and beyond that weight. And I just had to step back and be like, whoa, okay, wait, that's more than I thought I was gonna get. So it's just overcoming some of those goals that I mentally put myself into. It just kind of,
Yeah. And I think, for me, what I think has surprised me most about your fitness journey is just you came in with that idea, you went from bikini model to power lifter, right? You're like, forget all that other stuff. I just want to be a power lifter, right? and just embracing that power lifter mentality and bringing it every single week. We tease at Lady Lifters, but it's not really a tease. Jen has to go behind you and we have to take all the weights off after. If she goes in front of you, then we have to put all the weights back on when it's your turn. If she goes behind you, we have to take all the weights off again. And so So you're right. You know, that's what really, one of the things that's really impressed me about your fitness journey is watching you go from what you wanted to be to what you are. And that is powerful.
Mhm. Yes. Well, now that you've made fun of me, let's talk about my wow.
That's just an everyday thing.
Well, so I came to this group because I didn't want to go to the gym because I know I'm not as strong as a lot of other people. And I think you can still remember the first time I came. I mean, it was hard to lift anything, especially my upper body strength is not there. But the time that I got really proud of myself. So I'm 4'11", but the time I was so proud was when I flipped that huge tire. I never thought I would be able to do something like that. And not just once, like I flipped it 5-10 times, right, in one round. And I was like, wow. So it was a moment for me to be proud of myself, to be able to do something I never thought I'd be able to.
It's awesome.
I have abs for the first time in my life. You may not be able to see them, but they are there now.
You will be able to see them, but no, I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we starting to feel those? Yeah.
I know, it's great. I'm like, it's not so squishy anymore.
My wow moment was when Brett tried to kill me out in the 90-degree heat.
There's a lot of
That was
truth to
more
that.
a wow, he's very sadistic.
I mean, like, I thought I would die. I mean, I grew up in Nevada and I thought it's just a different kind of heat here, and I didn't think I was gonna make it. I thought I was literally gonna die, but I did it, and I didn't think I would.
Yeah,
So.
and that was amazing. And I asked you, I remember asking you, I said, hey, it's 90 degrees outside. We're going to do outdoor stuff like Jen was talking about. We're going to do tire flipping. We're going to do sledgehammer. If you want to do it, I'll do it with you. Hoping to hell that you would say no, that let's just go inside and be in the AC. But you did it. We stuck it out. Neither of us died. We spent a lot of time under the hose. That's for sure. But yeah, no, that was an amazing moment. You got through that. I did not want to do that, and you made me do it. So
That's usually how our workouts go.
yeah, exactly.
When are you gonna learn not to offer to do something that you don't want to do? You do that so often.
I don't have that capacity. So we've had a great podcast, ladies. You guys have given our listeners tremendous information. I want to ask you one more question. If there was somebody, if one of our listener audience was wanting to begin a fitness journey, or maybe they're currently have began one, or maybe they're in the midst of one, and just maybe not having success, what advice would you give somebody who's in that situation, who's wanting to begin a fitness journey, who's wanting to start out on one? What would you say?
I would say, start off with find your why. And a lot of us have a why that, we start out with. It might not be the why that we end up with. And just start. If you don't start today, a year from now, you're going to say, why didn't I start a year ago? And also with that, having somebody supporting you, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a, family member, whether it's a friend that you work out with, it really does help to have somebody encouraging you, especially a trainer that will keep you on track.
I think an important piece for me was being honest with myself. I am not a runner, so running was not going to be a thing. Knowing what was going to get me to work out. So example, being a social group, having a class, having support. So that's the route I needed to go. And that helped me to get started and to stay on the path.
Yeah, and if you get off the path, that doesn't mean you're done. That doesn't mean your journey's at an end. It's like, okay, I stepped off. You can always start again. There's always time to start again.
So I think it also goes back to that self-love piece too, right? Like forgive yourself for making that mistake, because stinging yourself is not going to help you move forward. Forgive and make the plan to go. And so like Sherry talking about being consistent, I think one of the things too was don't just say, I'm going to work out tomorrow. Like set an appointment with yourself. If you wouldn't break an appointment with your friend or your job, don't break that appointment with you.
Yeah. Make today your someday.
Yeah.
Don't
specify
wait for
the time if you can.
Yeah. Don't wait for the first of the week. Don't wait for the first of the month. heavens, don't wait for the first of the year. There's a lot of year left. Make today your Sunday. Start today.
Yes, definitely. For someone who's been in that downward spiral of like just procrastination, I think like one of the biggest things you could do for yourself is just identifying what you need. Like Jen was saying, like if you need someone to be there to support you, get someone that you need to help support you. If it's a mental thing, just get that support, get that help. And if you need to keep going to the gym, find and identify what's going to get you there. You know yourself the best. So if it's going to be like a friend showing up for you, or like finding a personal trainer that'll help you through it or walk you through it, then just identifying what that need is will get you there.
I want to thank so much the lady lifters that came in today. They shared their story. This was after an exercise too. Look at how amazing they look if you're watching this on YouTube. This was after an exercise, right? So they came in, they did the exercise, they stayed, they talked about it. I am the biggest fan of each of you. I am the president of you guys' fan clubs. You guys are absolutely amazing. I provide the space. You guys gave me all these accolades. I provide the space. You guys provide the inspiration. You guys consistently inspire me with your hard work. Mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that. You guys bring it. You're an amazing support system to each other. So I really can't thank you guys enough for sharing your stories, because your stories, although they're unique to you, they are common to many of us. I also want to thank my favorite guest co-host, Jen Brantley, who is also one of our lady lifters. She did a tremendous job. I love having her on the show. Next episode, I got Brandon Marks from Retrofit Construction coming on. He's going to tell us how he keeps people fit, especially this time of year. The rainy season is coming. You don't want to be living in a lake in your home. So he's going to come on and tell us how he keeps people fit, and then what you can do to help keep yourselves fit. And as always, guys, leave us a comment. Get entered in for a free t-shirt. We're giving away t-shirts at podcast number 20. If you have not been paying attention, this is 19. The next one is 20. The next podcast, you're going to get yourself a free Fitness Full Circle nice t-shirt. Thanks everybody for joining us. I very much appreciate it. Bye everyone.